Welcome to Dot One, a bonus series from the Trackpads Military Podcast. I'm Dr. Jason Edwards, your host, where we're going to dive deeper into the extraordinary world of military history and life. Today we're exploring the legacy of the Buffalo Soldiers, African-American regiments who shaped U.S. military history while breaking racial barriers. From patrolling the western frontier to fighting in major wars, their bravery and resilience left a lasting impact. Before we begin, please share and like this podcast and follow the Trackpads newsletter for more at newsletter.trackpads.com. The Buffalo Soldiers, a legacy of bravery, sacrifice, and progress. The Buffalo Soldiers stand as a remarkable chapter in American military history, representing the first peacetime all-black regiments in the U.S. Army. Formed in 1866 following the Civil War, these units were established to address national security needs while integrating African Americans into the post-war military. Their creation marked a turning point in the nation's history, as they played an essential role in the country's expansion, defense, and social evolution. Their primary mission centered on frontier defense, a task that involved protecting settlers, securing infrastructure, and maintaining order in the often lawless Western territories. These regiments not only ensured the safety of civilians, but also actively contributed to the development of critical infrastructure such as railroads and telegraph lines. Beyond their military duties, the Buffalo Soldiers became symbols of strength and endurance in a society deeply divided by race. The Buffalo Soldiers also played a key role in breaking racial barriers while contributing to the settlement and development of the American West. Tasked with guarding settlers, they ensured the safe establishment of towns and trade routes in newly settled areas. Moreover, their efforts in building and protecting infrastructure, like railroads, facilitated economic growth and westward expansion. The origins and the formation of the Buffalo Soldiers. The Buffalo Soldiers emerged as a product of necessity and opportunity following the Civil War. The Army Reorganization Act of 1866 marked a transformative moment in U.S. military history, establishing the first peacetime all-black regiments. These regiments, composed primarily of African-American freedmen, were created to address the need for a robust standing army during a period of national rebuilding. Beyond addressing military needs, their formation represented a cautious yet significant step towards racial inclusion in government institutions. By enlisting African Americans, the Army not only expanded its manpower, but also provided employment and a path to stability for freedmen eager to contribute to their country. The creation of the Buffalo Soldiers was also emblematic of the broader societal shifts occurring in the aftermath of the Civil War. As the country transitioned from conflict to peacetime, integrating African Americans into the military offered a means to reinforce the ideals of citizenship and service. However, this integration was far from seamless. The regiments were established as segregated units, led exclusively by white officers who were often skeptical of the soldiers' abilities. Despite these barriers, African Americans from across the nation, including former slaves, flocked to enlist, motivated by the opportunity to earn a steady income and gain respect through military service. The formal designation of the Buffalo Soldiers included the 9th and 10th Cavalry Regiments and the 24th and 25th Infantry Regiments. These units were tasked with a range of critical missions, from reconnaissance to maintaining security in remote frontier outposts. The cavalry, in particular, specialized in combat and patrol operations, while the infantry focused on garrison duties and the protection of vital infrastructure. These soldiers became the backbone of the Army's efforts to stabilize and expand the western frontier. Their work required a combination of physical endurance, tactical precision, and unwavering dedication, often under dire conditions. The origin of the name Buffalo Soldiers further highlights the respect these men commanded, even from unlikely sources. The nickname was bestowed upon them by Native American tribes who admired their bravery and resilience in combat. The comparison to the buffalo symbolized their strength and determination, traits that were deeply valued in both Native American and African American cultures. This name was embraced by the soldiers, who took pride in its implications of fortitude and tenacity. The roles and contributions of the Buffalo Soldiers. The Buffalo Soldiers played a vital role in patrolling the western frontier, a task critical to the expansion and stability of the United States during the post-Civil War era. These responsibilities included protecting settlers, railroads, and telegraph lines from various threats, ensuring the safe development of infrastructure in remote territories. They were often tasked with escorting wagon trains, providing security for new settlements and defending against raids by outlaws or hostile forces. Their presence served as a stabilizing force in regions rife with lawlessness and danger. During the Indian Wars, the Buffalo Soldiers demonstrated extraordinary courage and adaptability, becoming key participants in several critical engagements. They fought in significant battles, including the Red River War and the Apache campaigns, where their bravery and tactical acumen were on full display. Their duties often required them to balance military objectives with diplomatic efforts to uphold peace treaties. Despite the complexities of their role, they worked diligently to protect settlers while respecting the sovereignty of Native American tribes. The Buffalo Soldiers' participation in major military campaigns further cemented their reputation as elite and dependable units. During the Spanish-American War, they distinguished themselves in battles such as San Juan Hill, earning national recognition for their valor under fire. Their contributions extended to the Philippine-American War, where they provided vital support in a challenging and unfamiliar theater of war. In addition to their combat roles, the Buffalo Soldiers contributed to environmental conservation as some of the nation's first park rangers. They were tasked with protecting Yosemite and Sequoia National Parks, where they safeguarded the land from poachers and fires. These soldiers built roads, trails, and infrastructure that laid the groundwork for modern park preservation efforts. Challenges and discrimination. The Buffalo Soldiers faced profound racial discrimination both within the military and in the civilian communities they were assigned to protect. Segregation policies in the U.S. Army ensured that black soldiers served in separate units, often under white officers who doubted their abilities. Despite proving their skill and dedication repeatedly, these soldiers were often treated as inferior to their white counterparts. In the communities they safeguarded, they were frequently met with hostility and prejudice, even as they risked their lives to maintain order and safety. Promotions and leadership opportunities for African Americans in the Army were exceptionally rare during the era of the Buffalo Soldiers. Acts of heroism by these soldiers were often overlooked or dismissed, reflecting the widespread bias against them. The Army's reluctance to appoint African Americans to officer positions further marginalized their potential contributions. This lack of recognition extended beyond their military service, as many of their accomplishments were excluded from historical records. Assignments given to Buffalo Soldiers were frequently the most grueling and dangerous, often in remote and inhospitable environments. Stationed in isolated outposts, these soldiers endured extreme climates, from the scorching deserts of the Southwest to the frigid plains of the North. Stereotypes and prejudice posed significant challenges to the morale of the Buffalo Soldiers. These men were often subjected to derogatory labels and unfounded criticisms, both within the military hierarchy and in the civilian world. Efforts to delegitimize their contributions were common, with some dismissing their bravery and achievements as anomalies. However, the Buffalo Soldiers consistently defied these prejudices through their exemplary performance in combat and in service roles. The challenges faced by the Buffalo Soldiers underscored the institutional barriers that sought to limit their success. Yet their perseverance in the face of discrimination and hardship became a powerful testament to their strength and determination. By consistently exceeding expectations, they proved their worth as soldiers and as individuals, paving the way for future generations of African Americans in the military. Significant figures and accomplishments. The Buffalo Soldiers' legacy is punctuated by acts of extraordinary bravery, recognized through the awarding of more than 30 medals of honor. These honors served as formal acknowledgments of their valor and dedication under some of the harshest conditions faced by any military unit. One such recipient, Sergeant Emmanuel Stantz, was awarded the Medal of Honor for his courageous actions in 1870 while protecting a settlement in Texas. Another was Corporal Isaiah Mays, who displayed exceptional bravery during a violent robbery of Army payroll in 1889, walking miles with an injured leg to secure assistance. The Medal of Honor recipients among the Buffalo Soldiers faced significant challenges beyond the battlefield, adding further weight to their achievements. At a time when African Americans were routinely subjected to systemic discrimination, receiving the military's highest honor was a testament to their undeniable contributions. These men often performed their duties under-resourced and under constant scrutiny, making their accomplishments even more remarkable. Their stories inspired pride within the African American community and offered a counter-narrative to the prejudices of the era. Among the notable leaders associated with the Buffalo Soldiers were individuals like Benjamin Grierson and Charles Young, who left indelible marks in their legacy. Grierson, a white officer, advocated tirelessly for the fair treatment and proper recognition of Buffalo soldiers, serving as a rare ally in an army rife with racial bias. His leadership helped establish an environment in which these soldiers could prove their capabilities. Charles Young, one of the first African American officers in U.S. history, rose to prominence through his remarkable leadership skills and resilience, despite the racial barriers he faced. The contributions of the Buffalo Soldiers during the Spanish-American and Philippine-American Wars further solidified their reputation as elite units. They played pivotal roles in battles such as San Juan Hill, where their bravery earned them national recognition. Operating in foreign theaters of war, these soldiers demonstrated unparalleled discipline and strategic acumen. Stories of individual heroism and dedication provide a personal lens through which to view the broader achievements of the Buffalo Soldiers. These narratives capture the sacrifices they made and the ideals they upheld, often at great personal cost. From rescuing comrades under fire to enduring grueling campaigns with unwavering resolve, their actions exemplified the highest standards of military service. The legacy and impact of the Buffalo Soldiers. The Buffalo Soldiers played a pivotal role in shaping U.S. military history and advancing civil rights, paving the way for greater racial integration within the armed forces. Their existence as the first peacetime African American regiments established a model for the integration of black soldiers into the military. This effort culminated in the eventual desegregation of the U.S. Armed Forces in 1948 under President Harry S. Truman's Executive Order 9981. By proving their worth through decades of exemplary service, the Buffalo Soldiers dismantled myths of racial inferiority that permeated American society at the time. Their legacy as trailblazers extended beyond their active service, as they inspired generations of African Americans to enlist in the military during World War I and World War II. The bravery and discipline exhibited by the Buffalo Soldiers motivated thousands to take up the mantle of military service. They also laid the groundwork for African Americans' roles in modern warfare, from frontline combat to essential support operations. During World War II, the creation of all-black units like the Tuskegee Airmen and the 761st Tank Battalion drew directly from the examples set by the Buffalo Soldiers. The cultural recognition of the Buffalo Soldiers has grown significantly over time, ensuring that their story remains a vital part of American history. They are commemorated in numerous memorials and historical sites across the country, such as the Buffalo Soldiers National Museum in Houston, Texas. These institutions preserve their legacy and educate future generations about their sacrifices and contributions. Beyond physical memorials, the Buffalo Soldiers are celebrated in films, books, and educational programs that highlight their resilience and dedication. The story of the Buffalo Soldiers transcends the boundaries of time, continuing to serve as an example of bravery, sacrifice, and progress. By honoring their contributions and sacrifices, we ensure that their legacy remains a source of inspiration for generations to come. Their journey reminds us of the importance of resilience in the face of adversity and the collective responsibility to strive for a more just and equitable society. Well, that's it for this .1 bonus episode. Thanks for joining me. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to like, subscribe, and check out the full-length episodes of the Trackpads Military Podcast, available on Apple, Spotify, and many other platforms at podcast.trackpads.com. And don't forget to sign up for our weekly newsletter at trackpads.com or explore my books at militaryauthor.me. Until next time, stay safe, stay curious, and keep learning.